Welcome to Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. This podcast delivers insights on what makes businesses, teams, and people successful based on real-life business experiences. Following a career with America's largest associations, JP Murray founded the Murray Company, one of Washington, D.C.'s most successful consulting firms. The company was acquired successfully and enabled him to launch JP Murray Racing, a business development and sponsorship agency for auto racing teams. Here is JP.
Hey, welcome to today's podcast. It's great to be with you. I've got a couple different messages for you today. One is that someone is watching you for the first time. The other is embracing your differentiation. And finally, the characteristics of my favorite colleagues. So we're going to jump around a little bit. You've been in the game for a while now. You've been honing your skills, perfecting your craft. You have experience, you have reps, you have a reputation, and it all seems like ordinary walk in the park. But here's the kicker. The next time you make a presentation, the next time you have a sales conversation, it's not about you. It's about the person who just stumbled upon your content for the very first time. It's the person that has never heard the value that you bring. Imagine being in their shoes, awaiting something amazing, different. They deserve your absolute best. So whether it's your 5th time or your 5,000th time, I've found the very best and the most successful approach it like it's the first time every time with energy, enthusiasm, and a unique perspective. And I would add this is very important for business leaders. Your team is always watching. They're listening to everything you say. So make sure you can bring that kind of unique approach, energy, and enthusiasm to them as well. Now, let's talk about being unique, breaking away from your conventional norms. After all, that's probably a reason why you are an entrepreneur. You didn't want to follow the steps of others. You're here to embrace uniqueness, your God-given talents, skills, and perspectives. So in that way, I have a critical piece of advice. Let's shed your ego. Don't let the opinions of others hold you back. Trust in yourself, your vision. It's time to forge your path without apologies. Now that may sound soft and fluffy, but here's a reality check. You got to know your numbers as well. So to be different in this entrepreneurial space, you have to have these soft skills, this awareness, this uniqueness, and then also be absolutely savage about the business side. Know your numbers, understand your business inside and out. This isn't about flying by the seat of your pants and being creative. There's a part of this that makes informed decisions that keep you in the game, because I've seen very talented people that don't pay attention to the business side and they make a critical mistake, and next thing you know, they're out of money and they're out of the game. You've got to be able to stay in the game long enough that your efforts scale and you become long-term successful. So follow your instincts, be unique, be authentic, but rely on the facts. It's the perfect balance of gut feeling and data-driven insights that are going to propel you ahead. Now, we spent a lot of time on you today. Let's talk about the best business colleagues you've ever had and what we learned from them. And this comes from experience. It might surprise you, but these traits have had, in my experience, very little to do with talent. Not where they went to school. They're about the qualities that make a colleague truly exceptional. First and foremost, the best colleagues were consistent. They're the ones you can count on to show up every day, no matter what the world throws at them. In a world of uncertainty, they're a reliable anchor, and you must have those. Secondly, they're not just present physically, and they're not just showing up, they're actually engaged. They actively participate in the life of the company. They just don't sit on the sidelines. They're in the game, giving it their all. It's like they're doing it for the first time too, with that kind of energy. And here's another simple but essential trait, and that's context. The best colleagues understood that not every decision or strategy serves their personal interests. They see the bigger picture, the greater good of the organization, and in simpler terms, they're not a pain in the ass when it comes to company decisions. Now, listeners, I have a favor to ask. As you've been listening to this, maybe there's a colleague that came to mind. The colleague who embodies these traits or things that are important to you and made your professional life better, enjoyable, and frankly, something to remember. So here's what I'd like for you to do. Thank them today. Tag them in this post on this podcast. Show them the appreciation because great colleagues are worth celebrating. They're rare and they're memorable. Tell them that you remember them, even if you worked with them a long time ago. Folks, thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep striving for excellence in your work. I'm pulling for you. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. This podcast delivers insights on what makes businesses, teams, and people successful based on real-life business experiences. Following a career with America's largest associations, JP Murray founded the Murray Company, one of Washington, D.C.'s most successful consulting firms. The company was acquired successfully and enabled him to launch JP Murray Racing, a business development and sponsorship agency for auto racing teams. Here is JP.